just in case anybody wants to watch me totally fail to beat up this rock. So I got this little bopper from the woods from down there. This sandstone, I thought it was, but it's not. So I'm going to use this for a hammer. Pretty heavy, stout piece of rock. I either get most of my rocks from down there or from up here or somewhere. Now this side is got a lot of steps on it. I'm not too sure about that. I can see fractures running in here now that I'm out of the woods. So there's definitely some problems in this rock, some little touch and go type stuff, but just gonna make the best of it and see what we can get out of it. I'm just gonna hit it and I'm trying to knock off big flakes basically. So those are small flakes. This kind of stuff, same stuff we were getting down there. You've always got this loose stuff that's just hanging on. Kind of just rough that up and get rid of it. Where else can I knock something off of it? This is really the only ledge right here for now, so a couple more small flakes. Now this piece I may be able to do something with. Not anymore. Yeah, I'm not a very good flint knapper, but try and work our way around this a little. Ooh, look at the size of that one. Now that is a flake, ladies and gentlemen. Takes forever. I got a little cortex on it right here, but that is a freaking, hear it? It sounds like glass. That there, that's a flake. But I'm screwing up, I can make something out of that. Let's see what else you got. Have to keep on with this. More little flakes. There's something. Something. Boom. We're getting somewhere now. By golly, it's got all this crap on the back of it, but that's something I need to learn to remove anyways. That is a flake. Got two good ones so far. I'm not even gonna lie, I may break out my copper kit for working these guys down because it's such a pain in the butt to find good rocks. Alright, now how am I gonna do the rest? I think I'm gonna try and take some off this side like this. Just to give myself a platform to work. And I've labored to produce another flake. So this isn't going to be a total loss. It's great. It's awesome. I like when things aren't a total loss. And starting to rough out sort of a hand axe shape here. So if I can keep it going, we'll see. Kind of little ones. It's like, I don't know. Now I feel like I'm making something. I need a smaller hammer. Kind of a medium flake. Maybe get a point out of that. Ooh, we got some yellow stuff inside there. Neat. Yellow stuff is neat. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. It's like maybe half a flake, but it's got this little skinny part on there with all this yellow crap in it. I don't know if that's going to make anything or not. I mean, it's a usable tool. It's sharp. Through it. Oh, no. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Alright, and that is a very bad, but my very first biface. Completely carved around. It's not a very good one, but still got to do this side. If I could figure out how I want to shape it, probably going to end up being smaller because I'm going to break it right here. And get all this extra stuff out of the way. I'm just trying to even it out now because it's starting to look like a tool. I want to raise this up this way, so I'm going to go ahead and do away with all of this stuff. Some of that stuff. I think I'm going to call that a day. Kind of a neat little... I've never really carved a biface before, so I don't know what I'm doing with the finishing. It looks like it's time for me to go and study though, because I seem to have found a rock that naps really, really well. Anyways, the reason for this video. So I've got a couple like medium-sized flakes. I've got 3 of these bigger flakes. So maybe I could start making some refined stone tools out of these guys. Very happy with that, and I've still got half a rock laying around here somewhere to finish up on. Where did it go? I don't know. Not really half a rock, more like a quarter of a rock. I don't even know if this is enough to mess with at this point. I'm getting spoiled, so we'll drop that right there. But I've got some big old flakes here. I got some itty bitty little flakes. This one. I got some kind of medium-sized flakes. So, yeah, this is not flint at all. This is some kind of quartz, but it seems to be a much higher quality quartz than I'm used to finding. This flake right here has already got this long edge that's like little divisions between being serrated and smooth all the way down it. I will probably use that as a knife before I ever think about butchering it up and trying to make something out of it. And I'm sure these other two, quite similar. Yep, and that one's got a nice long edge on it, nice little serrations. I mean, I could tear up some wood with this stuff. This one's got a really long, smooth edge running right around there. So, yeah, these are definitely usable tools right off the rock. As are all of these little sharp things. I mean, if it's sharp, you can cut with it. I mean, you can cut hide, you can saw on bone with this, cut wood, anything you want. Like, stuff's legit. And I've got a pile of them right here, so I don't need to do anything with them, but sooner or later I might need a place to put all these tools. We'll see how that goes. Till next time. I know this was a boring video, but if you want to subscribe to see more like where we're going with this project heading into the future, I'm feeling really good about my little hand axe here, even though I still need to put a workable edge on it somewhere. I mean, it's got a little bit of an edge here, but I need to probably thin that down a little more, maybe on that side, and actually put a point. It'll be like a little miniature hand axe. Okay, right, so just as a postscript to this video, yeah, I went back outside. Come on, camera up. Do your thing. Do your thing. There we go. Went back outside, and I want to call attention real quick to how thin this is, because I don't want to spend all day focusing in and out with the camera on the pointy end. And it's actually, you can kind of see through it a little bit up here on the thin end. It's so thin. So I went back outside, smoked a cigarette, and I walked back over there, and I just took a regular hammerstone, like one of the ones I was using, and just very daintily, like light, solid hits, worked my way around this thing a couple more times and flaked it down. Now, this is not a piece of art, okay? There's obvious flaws in it. I mean, it's got this big turtle back right here, like where it's just bulged out, and that's actually why it has this little dip in it right here, is I was trying to get a platform to sort of thin that a little more in that area. But this is my first true biface that I've cut with flint knapping, and I did it just with rocks. And that's interesting because Aleutian hand axes are not, they're seen as sort of like an elevation or an evolution of thinking from basic stone tools like flake tools to something like this. It's intermediary before you get into the, you know, the pressure flaked arrowheads and spear points and stuff that went with later Neolithic and Mesolithic stone tools. So just the fact that this exists and it was done by a novice, I think this is kind of a thing with experimental archaeology too. I don't call myself an experimental archaeologist, but essentially that's what I'm doing out here. Because a lot of times when they dig these up, they're perfectly symmetrical, they're thinned out pretty good, and it's expected that hours and hours and hours of work were put into this. Total time in on this guy, not counting breaking all those flakes off, probably 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, by a novice who's only been flint knapping at all, or trying to flint knap at all, for the last 3 months on and off in my spare time when I get a chance and I'm not doing 800 other things around here. Yeah, so because it was thought that so much time and effort and energy went into these, a lot of and it could be the case that a lot of these are seen as almost ornamental in nature. So the really, really pretty ones, it's thought that these were like a status symbol. Like, you want to pick up chicks, you know, you can whip out your $1,000 iPhone, or you pull out your little hand axe and be like, look what I made, check this out, I'm a better tool maker than that guy over there, you know, you should come hang out with me. Which actually kind of funny that I put it that way, because more than likely it would have been women that were carving these tools, because women are, how do I do this without sounding sexist? You know what, I don't care if I sound sexist or not. Women are structurally, mentally, like, just better at doing things like flint knapping, because a man flint knapping, our inclination if something isn't working is to hit it harder, you know, whereas a woman is going to be a bit more particular, and they're going to be like, this isn't working, let's try a different angle, let's do it like this. They're not going to get worked up and bash on it quite as quickly as a man most of the time. There are exceptions to that. So yeah, it's believed also that women did a lot of the flint knapping and tool making. That could be wrong too, I don't know. I wasn't there, I didn't see it go down. But I do know that an Aleutian hand axe is not quite as advanced a skill as I thought. Now again, this isn't perfect, this could be thinned down, but I wasn't born into a culture where I'm making these kinds of things all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if I were a primitive person, I would probably have one of these that I was using, and I'd probably have another one for a backup, or at least have a couple flakes ready to be turned into one of these for a backup. So it all goes into this thought process, like what was the function of these things. I can tell you without a doubt these are incredibly useful. This little teardrop shape here is a stroke of pure genius on somebody's part in ancient history. And the first time I saw a picture of one of these, I was like, why would anybody, what is even the point of that? You know, the back ends look sharp, it's sharpened all the way around. Almost in every case, a biface is sharpened completely around the entire thing. There's an edge worked on it, and you'd think that would tear your hands up or something. But in truth, one of my favorite tools to work with, which hasn't showed up in the videos because I got this before I started doing this, you notice it's the same shape, roughly. Okay, it's got the little pointy and it's got this little dongle hanging down on the end, but it's roughly the same shape. Now this one has got outer cortex on this side. It hasn't been thinned at all. This was just a lucky, I think I hit it here and it just broke a flake off the corner of another stone. It just happened to come out in a useful shape. And I've used this enough that I've actually had to retouch and resharpen the edges on it, because I get a lot of use out of this for practicing my primitive stuff. So that guy has probably just been retired, except for jobs that I don't want to put this through because I'm worried I might break it. And it's my first one. I kind of precious. But yeah, so there's a little history involved here. The Acheulean culture is called that because something to do with the site where they found the first hand axe, or where they found a number of them. I don't remember all the details, and I'm not going to look them up because I'm lazy. But they call it Acheulean culture. It corresponds to a certain time period in history where we find a lot of these types of tools. And this represents a major evolution. Even before fire was known to be in the hands of humans, these tools were being made, just like we're making them on our little journey here through the Stone Age and the Neolithic period, or the Paleolithic period, rather. So, very important step. And as far as sharpness, just like a pocket knife, man, this is the Stone Age pocket knife. This is your tool that you carry everywhere, either in a little pouch on your hip, or just keep it in your hand. You never put it down, you don't lose it. They may even be buried in some cases as a sacrifice before a hunt with other really, really nice tools. Like, you put them all into a little thing, bury them, say a little prayer, and then go on your hunt and, you know, bring back the big game, or survive the mammoth. Um, yeah. So very, very important tools, and a very, very important step for us in going from primitive like sticks almost directly to this. I didn't plan it that way and like I said, you'll see me mostly working with flake tools, right? Because flake tools is kind of what I've gotten used to. But in just 3 months, kaboom, you know. So you take however many thousands of years it took for somebody to sit around and be like, you know what, my flake tool's nice, but I kind of want something a little better, and just sit there and chip away at a rock until they come up with something like this. And or who knows how many other shapes before they got here. And they're like, hey, this works really well for everything. I can scrape with it, I can cut with it, I can go and retouch the edges. Like, this represents people really starting to work with the stone and figure out how it flakes out, and learn how to cut shapes that they wanted to cut out of the stone, as opposed to just smacking the rocks together, grabbing a flake, and going on about your business, which is the easy way to do things. But yeah, I've already shaved some wood off the spear with this. I went ahead and just started shaving some more of the bark off with it just to test it. It cuts just like a pocket knife. In fact, it was leaving little gouge marks and scrape marks in the wood underneath the bark while I was cutting it, and pulling off these wonderful little, you woodworking guys are familiar with little curls that you get when you're working with wood. Yeah, it's just pulling off perfectly thin little curls while I was scraping the bark off. So it doesn't feel as sharp as some arrowheads and some obsidian points, but plenty sharp enough for woodworking, and we're going to be using this guy a lot. So I'm going to shut up now And I really appreciate you staying and watching the whole video and checking out this little end session. Like, that means a lot to me. If you did check this out, leave a comment, tell me something, who you are, maybe if you have any ideas for primitive uses for hand axes, or if you've ever tried to make one or something, and or even if you're a good flint knapper and you could show somebody like some different ways that I haven't been doing stuff in the video, but maybe a little better, go ahead and drop a little thing and I'll give you a nod in the next video, if you do it in time. And I hope to see you all around. I'm going to keep doing more of this stuff, like I said. But thank you so much for watching and being here on this journey, because as we continue to make little discoveries like this, it's just, it's good to know that somebody's listening, that you guys are here with me, like walking along every step of the way, and I really appreciate you. So don't be a stranger. Go ahead and leave a comment if you like, and I will see you next time. Thank you.